when I feel like this, like today, like people are hypocrites and they wouldn't help me as much as I'd help them when I have nothing and they have a lot more. It makes me think of things like if I had a chance to, in front of witnesses, ask maybe a religious leader, well, let's say I say something like, oh, I'd like to meet your God, because I'd give him a slap in the back of the head. But let's say, oh, okay, well, they'd say, well, how would you say that? Well, I mean, a lot of things are happening that are horrible, and if that's his plan, I mean, or then yeah, definitely I'd like to challenge him to a public debate. Oh, you don't understand enough about his plan or whatever. And then I'd say, well, do you? Oh, yes. Okay, then I challenge you to public debate. And so you're saying that the things I would disagree with, you agree with, so you can represent your God in this public debate. Okay, let's do that. And of course that they wouldn't, right? They wouldn't participate in this. And it would be philosophical a lot. It'd be related to greater concepts. It wouldn't be related specifically just to me. I'd be able to quote examples of things I've observed happening to other people. And, it's an example, this vlog, how much dishonesty and denial and intellectual laziness and a lack of metapsychology and objectivity and a running away from transparency there is. Like, okay, so there's a group site here. I don't see a name, but there's a group today. So let's imagine that there's a religious group, let's say Christians locally, and they just come for the day. And let's say I kind of go and I kind of mind my own business and nobody's using a shower because they would just be here for a day and I want to take a shower. Well, let's say they see me and they ask, and they think they're good people, right? That they are doing what Jesus does and that they would be helpful or at least not get in my way. But, I can pretty much guarantee to you that if they talk to each other, because it's a culture of shunning, whether I'm Christian or not. I could do this and I don't lie, but let's say I was Christian, but I'm not part of their group and I'm kind of poor and I kind of say, well, I'm not feeling great today. I'm sorry, but I don't know, I'll feel better after the shower and washing a few of my dishes so I can cook myself some food. I'm pretty sure that the way they would act, especially if the conversation happens after a few of them notice me and they kind of start talking, not as likely if, let's say, one person talks to me and then everybody else is not noticing me, which is also a possibility with a group like that. Now, they wouldn't argue with me too publicly because it would challenge their image of themselves. They are not ready to go there, right? But there'd be these gentle, indirect shoo away. And yet, why don't they just continue to talk amongst themselves, or play their games, or sing their songs? And they'd be focusing their new priority on kind of, especially if a big part of the group is doing that. And then they might be this one that has the most followers in there, whether he's a priest or just a more assertive public speaker, whatever, come talk to me. And then they'd be stuck in these other catch-22s where I would say, well, I'm a very honest person. I mean, if you believe that, it's not okay for me to use the campground because you booked it today, even though nobody's, I mean, using that shower of your group, and I leave it clean, then is there something I can do for you? Like maybe I can, clean up the area here or whatever. And they'd say, oh no, we're okay. We don't need that. So in a way, there'd be a lot of ways I could demonstrate who does more what Jesus would do, and wanting to help in so many ways that are related to my skill sets that are very numerous. And they would not be able to do that. They'd still be focusing on, and as much as some of them think they're doing me a favor by just trying to gently shoo me away. Oh, why don't you do that? Or why don't you go get these resources on, even though I already said, well, I don't have enough money for fuel. I'm not feeling well today. These resources are not open. And in my experience using these resources, this is what happened. This is what it feels like. So my plan for today is just to kind of take a shower right now and just wash a little bit of dishes. And I won't leave any littering, and I'll leave it cleaner than when I got here and things like that. And they would just want me out of their tribe more and more. And that's just what's weird about you guys is again is you don't know the difference between what is right and what is wrong. You don't know that you've lost as a species in big part because of money and religions, and both together is even worse. you've lost your humanity. You've lost your altruism. You've lost your ability to know right and wrong. And it's only the image you sell. And I like there's so many people that live their entire lives on these images, and they believe they've succeeded. They have too many things that they don't need, that they don't use, that is going badly or breaking down or not being maintained, while others that are willing to help them and do things for them for free, like partake in the concept of community, would benefit from these things that are not being used by the Christians. And yeah, this is a very real phenomenon, people. So again, I don't feel judged, but I do get shunned. But how can I feel judged when I know, that I can role model what Jesus would do more than they do, and that it's easy for me to accumulate these kind of examples I have already in the past. These are not issues that I need to prove again, but it is going to be growing even more because religion